moving very quickly. This particular thunderstorm moving at 55 miles an hour. So it's going to zip inland right along Highway 174 there, headed out toward Edisto. And Highway 174 does connect up with Highway 17.
Oh, wow.
Look at how fast.
Wow.
Already in toward Little Edisto. So if you're in southern Charleston County from 174 over toward the Edisto River, you need to be in your safe place. Now, I forget what this is 162 here, I believe. 162 coming in from Hollywood.
Yep. Adams Run.
Adams
Run. Adams Run is going to be here. Let's, you know what? Let's turn the radar off really quick.
Yes.
And see some of the. So Barrelville, Willtown Bluff, Adams Run, Pond, Burnt Church, Crossroads, if it makes it that far. But these are areas we talked about earlier with the Colleton County, Charleston County tornado warnings earlier. So yeah, these are the spots that need to be. So if you can hear us right now, you need to be in your safe place. If any of these roads, these cities sound familiar.
Yes. Well, and especially if you know you live in Charleston County south of Hollywood and Ravenel down toward the Edisto River, you need to be in your safe place right now.
Yes, if you live,
anywhere in southern Charleston County from Hollywood and Ravenel down toward the Edisto River. And then in Jacksonboro here, you need to be in your safe place right there along Highway 17 where it splits off with Highway 64 headed out toward Walterboro, Burnt Church Crossroads. So please take cover right now because these thunderstorms, as we just saw there, moving very quickly inland. This particular one is moving about 55 miles an hour. I know a lot of folks are asleep and you need to have ways to get those watches and warnings. So you need to download the ABC News 4 weather app. It has a setting where you can set a warning, an alert on your phone. If there is a warning, it'll sound. And that way you wake up and you can get to your safe place. And then once the all clear is given, you can go back to bed. But we are going to see several of these tornado warnings overnight tonight. This is not the only one that we're going to see. If we can zoom out a little bit farther, Sonia, these thunderstorms just rolling in off the Atlantic Ocean. Let's go out.
Oh, you want the big view?
Yeah, a little bit farther.
Oh. Well, there's Helene.
There's Helene came on shore. And look at how quickly Helene is moving. It's already up near the Florida-Georgia line.
Yeah.
So it is zipping inland. It'll stay well off to our west. This center of the storm is going to stay well off to our west. That's where the heavy rain and the strongest winds will be through central Georgia, especially along I-75 there. We're just getting the outer bands of this storm system, but they are dangerous because many of these bands, as they come on shore, like that one right there, is producing a tornado. And Sonia and I were saying, this band, it looks a little bit better because it did weaken, but look at how quickly that thunderstorm erupted out over the ocean, and now it's spinning and pushing inland. And they've already shaved back the warning around Edisto Beach.
Yeah, they just did that. Here, let me zoom in, and then I'm going to read the latest update there. But yeah, they've already.
So Edisto Beach, you're clear now.
Yep.
It's not on the beach anymore. It's farther inland, much farther inland.
And if you live west of Rockville, again, you know, west and off toward the northwest. Okay, so it's now saying as of 12:16, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 5 miles northwest of Edisto, moving northwest, still moving northwest at 55. So some of the spots, like we mentioned, Adams Run, Jacksonboro, Parker's Ferry. Those are all areas that are in that warning right now. So I'm just monitoring the rotation and still hanging on, but yeah, moving so fast. This has been the fastest one yet tonight.
No, by far. We've seen most of those moving about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So this one 55.
So Wadmalaw is good, but if you live west of Wadmalaw, you know, so once you start to get west of Wadmalaw, not as pretty rural.
And also there's a lot of water in this area, so hopefully it is out over the water. But
Adams Run, need to get ready.
Barrelville, so on over toward Adams Run, definitely be in your safe place. So south of Hollywood, right along Highway 162, over toward 174 and Highway 17. I know it's a lot of numbers out there, but if you live in this area, you know what we're talking about. There's Summit Plantation Road, there's New Road Extension,
Tougadoo Road, that's a big one.
Tougadoo is a big one. There's Parishville Road. So we're looking at Half Moon Road right along Highway 162 here. So these are the areas. We're also seeing some very heavy rainfall out of these rain bands as they work inland. I just went out and measured how much rain we've gotten at the station so far today. Well, that would have been on Thursday. So for Thursday, we picked up just over 2 inches of rain, 2.05 inches of rain. So some spots are going to pick up a little bit more than 3 inches of rain. We've been saying about 2 to 3 inches of rain. I still think we're pretty much right on with that because the steady rain has pushed through. That was here earlier today. Now we're looking at isolated thunderstorms coming in off the Atlantic Ocean in the feeder bands, putting down some heavy rain, and also, unfortunately, putting down some tornadoes. So Churchill Road right there. Morris Bing Road, this is 164. That's 162. This is 174. There's Jericho. We've got that just off to the south of Hollywood along Highway 17. It is headed right toward you. I know there is a trailer park in that area, so if you're in a trailer park, you need to get out of your trailer and into a building, not a mobile home. You need to get into a sturdy structure because mobile homes are not safe. The wind from a tornado blows underneath the mobile home and it starts spinning. So you need to get out of there into a safe building. We would love you to download the ABC News 4 weather app, not so much for the forecast that's on there, but for the watches, the warnings, the radar. Those are the most important things on the ABC News 4 weather app by far. Right off to the north of Highway 174, that's where the worst of this storm is right now, pretty much right over top of Adams Run. So this is going to continue to push inland very quickly, moving at about 55 miles an hour. There's Little Edisto, there's Barrelville, there's Adams Run. Adams Run is right there along Highway 174 where 164 comes out, and right around Jericho. Please take cover now. Pon. You want to be in your safe place just off to the north of the Edisto River there. These areas have already seen possibly some tornadoes earlier today, and we're going to continue to see those all throughout the viewing area. So right now things are nice and quiet in downtown Charleston. That could change as we head through the early morning hours of our Friday. So we're going to be looking at that very closely. There is the center of that storm right over top of 174, and the rotation is in there very close to Adams Run right now. So if you're in Adams Run, please be in your safe place, a closet, a powder room on the ground floor away from windows. There's Willtown Bluff right along the Edisto River. There's Barrelville, Moffett Road, Willtown Road. There's Parker's Ferry Road headed up toward Parker's Ferry. Adams Run right there. So this is continuing to move a little bit farther inland. That's 17 right there. So yep. Highway 17, there's Parker's Ferry, there's Pon just past that. It is Jacksonboro. So Jacksonboro right there, and that's where Highway 64 breaks off and heads off toward Walterboro. So Sonia, what are you seeing out there right now?
All right, so let's put the velocity on and see if we're seeing anything. Really hard to pick up. See, it looks better on radar scope, but that rotation's holding together, quickly moving off toward the north and west. So let me turn this off because that's not really helping us right now. Not getting any updates from the National Weather Service here. So moving northwest at 55 miles per hour. No updates from them. Again, right on top of Barrelville, headed toward Adams Run. So again, those are the spots that if you're watching us right now, hopefully you're already in your safe spot. If not, it's time to get there. Lowest level of your house, no windows. Again, make sure you crank the TV up so you can hear, but you know, this originated off the coast, again with some of those rain bands, started around Edisto. That's when they initiated the warning, and it's been quickly moving off toward the northwest at 55 miles per hour. So at this point, pretty much right on top of 174 and then 162 heading up into Adams Run, headed toward Jericho. So those are the folks that need to be sheltering in place right now until this warning is over. And at this point, we've got that warning for about another 5 minutes. So until 12:30. So those are the folks that need to be paying attention. Tougadoo Road, Parker's Ferry Road. We're just going to repeat these roads in case people are just tuning in. Willtown Road, Moffett Road, Sugar Hill Drive, Oakville Road. See if I can get any more.
That's some very heavy rain right there. And even if it's not producing a tornado, it is producing gusty winds, winds strong enough to cause damage, such as down trees, down power lines. So if there is damage in your area, don't go out and try to clean it up, especially in the dark by yourself. What you need to do is call the authorities, and if there is damage, they'll come out and survey it. They'll let you know if they need the power company to come out and fix things, because that's the big problem. Power lines get knocked down, and you can come in contact with those and become injured or possibly even die. So you don't want to encounter any wires like that. Now, Sonia, could we take a little bit wider view, see if there are any other storms at this point that we're monitoring?
Just trying to look at to see if I could get velocity on the other, but all right.
So right there it is, right around Adams Run right now. You need to be in your safe place. So there you go, and that kind of stretches back here.
Look at this.
So
look at off the coast.
These are rotating back in about the same spot. So we'll continue to watch this line, and hopefully this line does not fill in, because if it does fill in, which it looks like it's doing right now, we could see warning after warning after warning. Earlier on Thursday, we were seeing this exact scenario in Georgetown and Williamsburg County. It was just one tornado after another. So we could be looking at that once again. See these thunderstorms here just off to the south of Edisto Beach? Those are thunderstorms that we're going to watch very closely, and look at how fast they're moving. See how there's almost a little hook on the back of this thunderstorm?
Yeah,
even though it's a tiny little shower, that could be a waterspout now out over the Atlantic Ocean. And once that pushes inland, if a waterspout pushes inland, then you have a tornado. And if that pushes over top of you, it could do some damage. So right here, Edisto Beach, a couple more showers and thunderstorms out over the ocean. Edisto Beach right now not under the tornado warning, because the tornado warning has pushed a little farther inland, but now there's more thunderstorms out over the ocean, and these are starting to look a little bit more ominous. So we'll watch those very closely. And one thing I want you to notice here too, we're starting to see some lightning now with this thunderstorm as it approaches the Charleston and Dorchester County line into Colleton County there as well. We do have some fresh lightning strikes, so you really need to wait this one out indoors away from the windows, because those windows could shatter if there are gusty winds and we do get some trees blowing around. So you are seeing the Coots live camera out there. So I do see some power on in one of the houses there. So it looks like we still have power on Edisto Beach. That's good news. Hopefully we haven't had any damage on Edisto Beach, but the thunderstorm now moving a little bit farther inland, and that'll continue to push right along the Edisto River, crossing from Charleston County into Colleton, and maybe even just extreme southeastern Dorchester County there. Right along the Edisto River is where this storm is tracking, and right now it's starting to pick up quite a few lightning strikes, so it could be intensifying as it pushes inland. And notice this line off to the south and west kind of fueling that. So there they are, those lightning strikes.
Look at that.
Yeah, so this line stretches out into the Atlantic Ocean, so we could see more tornado warnings just out of this line, and that's how it's going to work. Those feeder bands, when they come in off the ocean, one thunderstorm starts spinning, you get a small spin-up tornado. The next one starts spinning, you get a small spin-up tornado. So that's what we're watching. These aren't the kind of tornadoes that are going to wipe out whole neighborhoods. What they're going to do is knock over some trees and some branches. So we're looking at a new tornado warning. I figured that was coming. That's out until 1 o'clock in the morning for Charleston and Colleton County. So that's going to be extended a little bit farther inland. I see it there.
Okay, so it's an addition of this one, plus they're extending it.
Yes. So.
All right, let's.
There's still rotation with that as it crosses over the Edisto River there. So it looks like we lost some of our data. That's no good. So,
hang
but the
on.
storm is in this general area, crossing Highway 17. Here comes some over. There it is. There it's back.
That's Columbia's radar.
So,
I don't know.
Charleston radar having a little bit of an issue. So,
Oh, maybe it was just a bad.
this is way too far. That's old data right there.
You're right. You're right.
That's old data. So let's
All
go
right,
head
let's
over
go
to
to
the Columbia.
Yeah.
There it is. So this is what we're watching. The problem with the Columbia radar, it's a little farther away, so it's shooting higher up into the thunderstorm, seeing a little bit higher part of the storm. What it's missing is everything down close to the ground. So, and that's where your tornado would be. So we're watching this very closely as it crosses the Edisto River right around Pon and Jacksonboro there, crossing the Edisto River into Colleton County, headed toward Cottageville. Cottageville, we've called your name several times this evening, and we're going to call your name, well, I guess last night, early this morning. Now we're going to call your name again. So between Walterboro and Cottageville, Drigger Crossroads, Lowndes Landing, Gettysville, Iron Crossroads. So that's where this thunderstorm is, right around Pon right now. If you're in Pon, make sure you're in your safe place, because this thunderstorm, as it crosses the Edisto River, does have rotation, and the tornado warning has been extended out till 1 o'clock in the morning. Did the weather, there's
Okay, hang on. I gotta.
certainly the rotation there.
Yeah. All right.
So radar's running a little bit slow, and sometimes that happens when a lot of data gets shoved into the computer.
Oh, I gotta
it
switch
runs a little
radar
bit
sites
slower.
again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Charleston radar, but obviously it's okay. So there's that.
Right. So right
They
there
said,
is where
so
the
we
rotation
just,
is.
So here's the latest. Until 1 a.m., which you said, moving northwest at 50, storm capable of producing a tornado located near Jacksonboro.
Yep, and that's right about where we're talking.
That's right about where we're talking about.
Right on the Edisto River there.
So there we go. And then let me turn velocity on, because we could see a little bit of velocity there.
We certainly could. We could see that rotation right in this area here, and that's Jacksonboro right there. There's Pon, and this is where Highway 64.
Do you think it's not letting me show the velocity scope because I'm on the Columbia radar?
Probably.
Gotcha. I wondered.
Probably. Has the Weather Service said anything about their radar in chat?
Wow, now we just got another.
So it's moving very quickly.
Very quick.
Very quickly.
All right, that's
Back
a
around
2-hour loop. Let me see. Let me get
Burnt
back
Church
to 30
Crossroad
minutes.
now. This is
Yeah.
the Edisto River, this line. So a lot of these thunderstorms have been tracking close to the Edisto River.
This is literally the same area we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So the other one came from Ashapoo up this way, but this one's a little farther to the north, not much. Southern Charleston County looking a little bit better, but now as we get into Colleton County, right as you cross the Edisto River, we're looking at that rotation here. And this could be it right here along Highway 17, where the split is with Highway 17 going south and Highway 64 going south and west. It looks like that's where the rotation is, right around Jacksonboro, and pushing a little bit deeper into Colleton County right there. So
I'm going to try to switch radar again, see if maybe it was just like a bad sweep.
so it looks like it's
I think
back.
it was a bad sweep, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's back. So there it is. And this is seeing much more of the storm because this radar is much closer. The radar site located in Yemassee, a little bit farther off to the south on I-95. But it's seeing much better what's going on here than the Columbia radar.
Now we'll try velocity on it.
So yeah, right there around Pon,
Yep.
stretching over toward Jacksonboro, toward Burnt Church Crossroads. This is where your rotation is, and that's pushing inland with this thunderstorm that's been moving about 55 miles an hour. So it's really hauling as it heads inland. It's moving very, very quickly north and west. So we're going to continue to see that right there. So let's try.
I'll let you try the velocity scope.
See if we can
It's not working for me. Let me try to pull it up on Max 2 while you're doing that.
Yeah, we're certainly watching this very closely. Right around Pon, you need to be in your safe place right now. All through Colleton County, there's a fresh lightning strike, so we are seeing that.
Yeah, you can see it here. If you guys want to go to Max 2.
Sonia has Max 2
If you want to
pulled
go to Max
up.
2. So, yeah, around Pon right now. So, around Parker's Ferry, I'm seeing Minnow Drive. Let me see, Old Jacksonboro Road. Let's see, very close to Sand Mine Lane.
And it's going to move inland very quickly.
Parker's Ferry Road.
So this will continue to move inland very, very quickly.
And it's moving, what did I say, northwest at
55.
50? 55?
55. So there it is right there.
Yeah.
Continuing through Colleton County at this point. So it started in Charleston County.
Yep.
In fact, it started right out on Edisto Beach,
Yeah.
off the
Weeks
coast.
Road. See if we can get some other streets to pop up. Not too far from Capitol Road.
So, and there's the split between Highway 17 and Highway 64. So it's very close to that. We have a.
Again, we're looking so Burnt Crossroads is off toward the north and west.
So, and we just got a notification of some of the offshore thunderstorms off of the coast of Colleton County and Beaufort County. So marine warning, oh, there it is. So there's a marine warning out on this one, and that's going to come on shore. Yes, that's going to come on shore.
Around Beaufort County.
Yeah, that's going to come on shore around
Beaufort
Hunting and Fripp Island.
Yeah.
And push inland. So we've got to watch all these storms, and they're even more farther out in the Atlantic Ocean, and some of those look really nasty.
Yeah.
Those right there. So we're going to be watching those, and you can't those ones right there that are out over the ocean. So we're going to be watching those here. I'll get over to the wall, and we'll show you some of those. So these thunderstorms that are out here over the Atlantic Ocean, and see how they're lined up? That's a feeder band. It's feeding into the center of Hurricane Helene, which is now over land and weakening. When it came on shore, it had 140-mile-an-hour winds. Now it's weakening, but it's still pulling all this energy in off the Atlantic Ocean. Now before, it was getting that energy out of the Gulf of Mexico because that's where it was. Now it's pulling in moisture off the Atlantic Ocean. These storms, they really all have their own personality, and you've got to react to whatever personality they have and make sure you're ready. We're watching those tornadoes. This one right here, and that's a pretty nasty thunderstorm. Moving right along Highway 64 there, headed on over towards 17A. Cottageville, you need to take cover right now because that thunderstorm moving very quickly back in your direction. So there it is, continuing to push inland along the Edisto River. Between Highway 64 and the Edisto River, that's where we're talking about. So if you live in that area in Colleton County, from Jacksonboro to Walterboro, along Highway 64, over toward the Edisto River, you need to be in your safe place right now. If I just named those locations, you know you live there. Lowndes Landing, Burnt Church Crossroad, Iron Crossroad, Drigger Crossroad up there, Cottageville. This is Highway 17A, so it's heading very quickly inland back toward Highway 17A. It will then continue even farther inland, and here's the velocity scan. And
got to be somewhere.
You would think, but there's a lot of rotation back here.
Pon.
Right there, so still watching very closely right along the Edisto River. So that's why I said from Highway 64 over toward the Edisto River. Watch that very closely. So some rotation there continuing around Pon. These tornadoes, very hard to spot on radar because they're typically very small. They just spin up very quickly and then move right along with that thunderstorm as it pushes inland. So
they have canceled the warning for Charleston County. They just pushed a new update for Colleton County. So it's moved out of Charleston area. So now we're looking at a severe thunderstorm. As of 12:36, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Jacksonboro, moving northwest at 50.
And that's Jacksonboro right there.
So Pon, that's that same area.
So that's where we are focused, and this is going to continue to quickly move inland. So it could be that the thunderstorm is moving more quickly than the actual tornado, if there is a tornado there. Do you want to take a look at the correlation coefficients and see if there's any difference? I like the look. Oh,
It's interesting. There it is.
Moved very quickly. Just jumped very, very quickly.
Burnt
Church Crossroads. All right, I'm going to pull this up over here, and then if it looks like anything.
So it moved even a little bit farther inland very quickly. So now it's moving up toward Iron Crossroads. It's going to continue up toward Cottageville. So Cottageville, get in your safe place right now. Drigger Crossroads, get in your safe place. This is going to continue to push very quickly through Colleton County, just off to the south of the Edisto River, back toward Highway 17A. This is the thunderstorm that is producing a possible tornado. So these tornadoes, these gusty winds, they pop up very quickly and they do damage in a highly localized area. So one neighborhood could get some snap trees while the next neighborhood over, absolutely nothing. So it's very spotty. Not everyone's going to get this, but some areas will see the gusty winds and the possible tornado. Right there around Iron Crossroads, please get in your safe place. Burnt Church Crossroad. There you go, Jacksonboro Road. We've got Dodge Lane there and Hunter Road right there.
Roundo Road.
So Banty on over toward.
And then headed toward Gloverville.
Yes, so Gloverville, you should be in your safe place right now as this continues to push farther inland through Colleton County. So we're going to watch this very, very closely as it pushes farther inland. So heavy rain coming down. There's that circulation right there toward the radar, away from the radar, very close together. That's where you've got the rotation in the thunderstorm and the possible small spin-up tornado there. So that's what we're watching very closely. Fortunately, we haven't gotten too many reports of damage throughout the low country.
Yeah, we haven't.
Which is great. So hopefully that means that these tornadoes aren't actually making it all the way to the ground and doing damage. So that's, I'd rather be on here telling you about a possible tornado and see absolutely no damage than to have a tornado come through and do damage. So we're going to continue to watch these very closely. Iron Crossroads there, Cottageville. So Cottageville, please be in your safe place. Drigger Crossroads, please be in your safe place. Around Burnt Church Crossroads, it's just passing you now. It should stay just off to the south of Lowndes Landing there.
Yep.
That's right on the Edisto River. So it's mainly just south of the Edisto River here, headed on up toward Cottageville. What are you seeing, Sonia?
Yeah, not much, not any new reports. We can hop over and look at correlation coefficient, but I'm not seeing anything, Dave.
Okay.
Still kind of a lot of noise like what we saw earlier.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this would be the area right here and not seeing a whole
yeah,
lot.
I mean, it just looks like everything's about the same color. And we talked about this earlier, like if you see a lot of different colors, then that means we're getting things of different sizes. So maybe debris, you know, sometimes indicates hail. But yeah, not seeing anything there. Yeah, Burnt Church Crossroads, still seeing that rotation pretty much right on top of them. So like you said, Iron Crossroads, folks there should hopefully already be in their safe place. And I think this could continue at least maybe into the west side of Cottageville, assuming the rotation holds together.
Yep.
As it moves off toward the north and west, so maybe passing kind of in between Drigger Crossroads and Cottageville.
Real close to where we saw that circulation go through earlier, back on Thursday evening, and now we're Friday morning, and this is when we really thought we might be under the gun because our hurricane is moving farther inland. Sonia, can we take a look at the hurricane, Helene, and see where that is? It's moving inland very, very quickly.
Look,
it came
oh
on
my gosh,
shore.
it's already around Valdosta.
Right there around Perry. So the center of the storm right now getting ready to cross from Florida into Georgia, and it's going to stay off to our west. Here's I-75. I-75 is going to get hit very hard. Now this is going to move mainly off to the north now. The last direction I saw was north-northeast, but more of a turn to the north is expected over in the very early morning hours here Friday, and then eventually it's going to turn off to the north and west. So we are in the northeast quadrant of this storm. There's Brunswick, Georgia. North of that is Savannah, and we're in the northeast quadrant of the storm, and that's where the tornadoes typically occur, especially in these bands that spiral in off the ocean. The actual center of the storm, here it is. So Sonia's drawing on the quadrants of the storm. So you've got your north-south line here, your east-west right across the center, and this is the tornado sector. The tornado sector is the northeast quadrant, and that comes all the way up to us. Anything coming in off the Atlantic Ocean, as we're seeing right there, has the potential to spin because it's trying to get all the way back into the center of this storm. So to wrap all the way in and spiral like that, those thunderstorms coming off the ocean are the ones that typically start to spin. And we've got tornado watches still down toward Daytona Beach, but they're going to start to lose their tornado potential. Some of these bands coming across Florida could still potentially cause some tornadoes. And I would imagine this is the band from Central Florida down around Orlando up toward Jacksonville. I would imagine this is the band that's going to try to rotate through here about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's when we're going to see the possibility of some more strong and severe thunderstorms with isolated tornadoes. But as long as these individual little cells within the bands coming in off the ocean start to rotate, there's a possibility of tornadoes. So we're going to continue to see the tornado threat. Tornado threat right now, right around Cottageville.
It's near Cottageville, yeah, that's where they're saying it's right now, moving northwest at 50.
So I think this one has all of the radars turned on. So right there around Cottageville, this is Highway 17A. Please make sure you are in your safe place. Maybe just off to the south there of Cottageville, maybe right in there, yeah. Probably right about there. A little bit of rotation as that storm makes its way through central Colleton County. So right around Cottageville, and then it's going to move along Highway 651 there. So if you're in Cottageville, please make sure to be in your safe place. Sonia, could we turn off some of the other radars and just have the Charleston radar there? So we've got a lot of radars on there, and it's showing not exactly what's out there. So
I didn't realize they were all turned on.
There we go. So right there around Cottageville, and notice they keep shaving back this warning, so it's been shaved back a little bit more. So if you're
like
around Burnt Church Crossroads,
you're good.
You're fine. Lowndes Landing there, you're fine. But still around, and even around Iron Crossroads now. But right there around Gloverville, I never like to see a little appendage like that. Davis Hill, Roundo, between Driggers Crossroad and Cottageville. So Roundo really under the gun right now for that severe thunderstorm, possibly producing a tornado. So that's the area that I'm watching very closely there as it crosses Highway 17A. So that's going to continue to move inland. So it looks like we've got a...
Yeah, I'm trying to turn that off.
So we'll continue to watch this pushing inland right across Highway 17 there, 17A, into Colleton County. So there it is, our severe thunderstorm. Our tornado warning continues for about 14 more minutes. That continues until 1 o'clock in the morning. Right around Roundo on over toward Drigger Crossroads. There is Drigger Crossroads. Then it's going to continue up towards Sydney. So if you're in Sydney, you want to take cover right now because this storm is moving inland very, very quickly, moving inland at about 55 miles an hour. We'd also love for you to download the ABC News 4 weather app. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of the forecast on the ABC News 4 weather app, but what I am a huge proponent of, the watches and warnings coming directly to your phone. As soon as the National Weather Service puts those out, boom, it comes onto your phone. If you're asleep, there's a setting that you can have an alarm go off, and that'll wake you up. Also, it has radar just like you're seeing right here, so you can watch the radar while you're in your safe place and make sure that you're continuing to watch that.
Look at that rotation.
So
between Gloversville,
right around Roundo, just about to cross over Highway 17A there, Roundo, in between Cottageville and Drigger Crossroads. So there's our rotation right there as that crosses Highway 17A in Colleton County. So it's going to continue to push off to the northwest up towards Sydney. So if you're in Sydney, take cover now. Drigger Crossroads, please be in your safe place. Cottageville, it's just off to your south, right along Highway 17A. So I know it's not going to be a real easy night for folks to sleep with these thunderstorms rolling through and the possibility of tornadoes. So as we go through the early morning hours of our Friday, the weather looking quite rough, and it's going to stay that way until about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We have a tornado watch out until 8 o'clock in the morning. That tornado watch came out at about 7:30 in the morning on Thursday, and now we're looking at that tornado watch continuing until 8 o'clock on Friday morning. So 24 hours of tornado watch. That's a long, long time, and we've been paying very close attention. Now that thunderstorm continues to move through Colleton County. You see it spiraling in off the Atlantic Ocean, and it looks like we have some more there off to the south, Sonia.
Around Beaufort.
Out over the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Definitely. These are some strong thunderstorms headed toward Hunting and Fripp Island. So these might be our next tornado warnings heading toward Hunting and Fripp Island.
I'm definitely seeing the rotation offshore already.
Yeah, well, you can see a little hook on the back of that one thunderstorm right there. So as these push up toward Beaufort County, especially from Port Royal on over toward Beaufort, Hunting, Fripp Island, we've got Ladies Island out there, Dataw Island, so those are the spots where that's headed. Now this particular thunderstorm moving through Colleton County has a little bit of a hook on the back of that. Hopefully that doesn't indicate a tornado, but there's a possibility right there just off to the south and east of Highway 17A. So that's going to continue to push right on over toward Roundo, Cottageville, Drigger Crossroads. So if you're in those areas, there's that rotation. Even up towards Sydney. Sydney, you're not technically in this warning, but it is zipping along in your direction. So make sure you're in your safe place. And as this storm has pushed farther inland, they have continued to push the warning farther inland. So there's a possibility that this warning could extend from Colleton County, maybe even into extreme western Dorchester County, back along I-95 off to the south of St. George. So we'll watch this very closely as it continues to move off to the north and west at about 55 miles an hour. So hopefully it's not doing any damage, but we are continuing to watch that as it pushes farther inland, just crossing Highway 17A right now, just off to the south of Cottageville. This one does have more of a look of some rotation along with it than some of the ones we saw earlier, right, Sonia?
Yeah. Just looking in chat, so it sounds like Roper St. Francis Healthcare down there around Edisto did lose power earlier. So.
Okay.
And they said, let's see, there was at 12:21, there was power pole damage on Palmetto Boulevard in Edisto.
Okay. So
we don't know if it's a tornado or gusty winds, but either way, again, they've lost power at Roper St. Francis down on their facility down on Edisto. So that we know the storm is packing some punch. So that's all we need to know. Folks need to be in their safe place. We're seeing that rotation, as you said, it's about to cross over Highway 17.
17A.
Yeah, 17A. So yeah, folks there in Cottageville, stay in your safe place until we give you the all clear. And then some of the spots northward, so we were saying around Sydney, it's kind of right on the border there.
And right over top of Roundo at the moment.
Roundo, yeah.
So Roundo right there and Drigger Crossroads right there. Some of the other spots back toward Burnt Church Crossroads, things are looking better there. There is Roundo. So this is 17A, and you can see that crossing over top of 17A. Heavy rainfall, gusty winds, at least with this thunderstorm and a possible tornado. So that's why you need to be in your safe place. There's Roundo Road. Here's 17A. Here's Cooler's Dairy Road. So some of those roads right there, Benjamin Drive over toward Drigger's Crossroads. And then we have some of these other roads here, Ernestine Road, Burr Hill Road, and there's Burr Hill. So these are the spots that are really right in the middle of that rotation and heavy rain, gusty winds, pushing off to the northwest at about 55 miles an hour. So very quickly moving off to the north and west. Our tornado warning continues for another 7 minutes as this continues to push a little bit farther inland. If we could go ahead and take a little bit bigger view of this storm and of what's going on around the coast of South Carolina right now, because we are watching more thunderstorms about to push on shore. Have some rain coming down in Beaufort, but these thunderstorms offshore looking very nasty and very ominous. So we'll continue to watch those as they push inland through Beaufort. And these bands of thunderstorms will slowly make their way to the north and east. So eventually Charleston, eventually up toward Mount Pleasant. So it's going to continue to make its way to the north. Right now it's around Edisto Beach and down toward Hunting and Fripp Island. That'll continue up toward Seabrook, up toward Kiowa, Folly Beach, and then on over towards Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palms. So it'll make its way up the coast. It's not just going to stay off to the south. There you can see the fringe of the eye of Hurricane Helene off to the west of I-95. It's back closer to I-75 in Georgia, making its way from Florida into Georgia now. It came on shore at 11:10 on Thursday evening. Now it's pushing inland very quickly, and we're seeing some of the outer bands of the eye wall right there along I-95 down around Brunswick, Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll switch over to the.
So there we are right there. And there is a possibility that we could see hurricane or tropical storm force winds up to the Savannah River. So those are sustained tropical storm force winds. We're going to be looking at some wind gusts all through the low country, especially from Charleston down toward the Savannah River, up over 40 miles an hour. And look at that nasty weather right now through Valdosta, Georgia. So probably a category 2 or 3 hurricane at this point moving through Valdosta. It weakened very quickly as it pushed on shore. Have the hurricane hunters still been in this storm? Do they have an update on?
Yeah, I was thinking we were probably going to get something, maybe if we don't now, maybe at the top of the hour.
Yeah, so this is our hurricane crossing into Georgia now. That was very quick. So
no updates since midnight. So I bet we're getting 5 minutes.
So Sonia, from landfall to now, that's been about 2 hours. It's already in Georgia. So, and once this makes it up toward Atlanta a little bit later this morning.
It's supposed to be there, what, around 8 a.m.?
Around 8 o'clock in the morning. So once this gets up around Atlanta, our severe weather threat plummets dramatically, and we'll actually see clearing conditions. So there's actually dry air coming in on the backside of this storm, and the dry air will keep the second half of the storm much quieter for us. We could see some gusty winds, but we're not going to be talking about the tornadoes.
So it looks like Dominion Energy is reporting about more than 1,000 without power down around Edisto.
Okay, so
this storm is packing a punch. So
yeah,
folks that are in its path need to take it seriously.
When we're on the fringe of it, there's I-75, so it's way back in Georgia.
Right.
Some of those sustained tropical storm force winds could make it up to around the Savannah River. I think we'll see some tropical storm force gusts.
Oh, absolutely.
From Charleston down toward the Savannah River. But as far as the sustained tropical storm force winds, those are off to our south. And we're not under a hurricane warning. We're under a tropical storm warning. So we're expecting some tropical storm conditions here throughout our Friday morning. So there's our tornado warning, and this severe thunderstorm packing the possible tornado, moving out of the area.
It's almost
where there's a tornado warning.
They're saying that they're not going to issue another warning on this storm.
So we'll go ahead and anybody from Cottageville on.
Okay, they expired it now.
So anybody in Colleton County, it is safe now to come out of your safe place. But if you're going to look outside and see if there's any damage, if there is damage around your house, do not attempt to do anything with it. Don't attempt to clean anything up right now. Don't attempt to move anything around. What you need to do immediately is call police, fire, EMS. If you need some authorities, call them, because there could be downed power lines, and we don't want anyone to come in contact with a downed power line. So make sure to let the authorities know, and that way they can come out. If they need to get the power company out there, they'll come out and repair the damage. So for right now, though, we're going to go ahead and let this go, but we'll probably have some more tornado warnings here pretty soon. So we're watching all morning long. Your tornado watch continues until 8 a.m. We're under a tropical storm warning. Expect those tropical storm conditions through early Friday morning. More to come, but now we return you to your regular programming.